What's cracking, everyone? This is Solomon SK for Whiskey and RPGs, and if you're new to this channel, we always start off each new week with a new drink as well as a toast to something wonderful. And today, it's not whiskey, but it's something just as special. We have Absolute Vodka, but it's the Korean version, as you see here. And they have like this wonderful design on it. Those are the Korean alphabets that you could see there kinda on the bottom, so using their language as part of the design. And yeah, it's a beautiful looking bottle. I really do enjoy this one. Now Absolute Vodka actually did make limited editions for a number of other countries as well, but because I have family in Korea, I was able to obtain this. So yeah, otherwise it still tastes like your normal Absolute Vodka. So but this time I'm gonna mix it. It's super strong. I'm not really much of a vodka drinker, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mix it with some Snapple here. But anyways, guys, I hit 33 subscribers this week, and I'm laughing a little bit because I honestly didn't believe I would get this far. I know YouTube is highly competitive, but those of you who subscribed and continue to support my channel, I do appreciate you guys. So today's toast goes out to you guys. Thanks again. I really love the support that you and the love that you've shown me, and yeah, cheers. But yeah, we got a lot to cover today, and sorry my video is a little later than usual, but let's jump right into it. Cheers again, everyone. So last episode we covered some Valentine's Day events for a number of MMOs, and we got news for a handful more, and the first one is called Crimson Days Valentine's event, which is for Destiny 2. Again, this will, well, as it says, set to run until February 18th. The event is set to feature activities and rewards. No event is complete without loot. Loot features a ghost shell, ornament, emo, and 2 sparrows. Again, I've never played Destiny 2, so I'm not going to pretend to know what these are, but if you are a Destiny 2 fan and it's been a while since you last hopped in, well, here's your chance to get some Valentine's themed rewards if you choose to do so. And in other Valentine's news, we got Warframe. Again, never played Warframe, although I should, just to kind of give more context to what I'm talking about when I do cover these stories. But the Heart of Ordis returns to Warframe, featuring the return of several items. And so, as you can see here, this event runs through February 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. The following items are returning: Valentine's Color Picker, Arrow Skin, with a number of credits that you exchange them for, as well as Platinum. Again, I don't know if those are like in-game currencies and stuff, but anyways, if you're a Warframe fan and you're looking forward to hop back in or just unaware of what's going on, there is a Valentine's event for you guys as well. And PlanetSide 2 celebrates Valentine's Day, hypes escalation. From now until Sunday, February 23rd, players can snap up several new items, camo bundles, vehicle horn bundles that are all dressed up for Valentine's Day. So yeah, there's that for PlanetSide 2. I've never played PlanetSide 2. Yeah, some MMO and online and RPG reviewer I am. You have all these games that you haven't played and you have no idea what you're talking about. I do apologize for that. I will get around to it, just so you know, helps me become a better content creator. So, and this is how out of touch I am. Rift. Got news from Rift. For whatever reason, I had the impression that this game was offline, but apparently not. Rift Valentine's Day contests underway. So it looks like they're doing a creative contest. I don't know if this necessarily means they have a Valentine's Day event, but the contest is running until February 25th at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. To participate, you'll need to take a video of your in-game marriage, or draw, paint, take romantic picture, or screenshot, or bake cookies, cakes, or any other creative gesture. To qualify, the submission must be Valentine's Day themed, along with, and you got the requirements there. Rewards includes 30 days of Patron. I have no idea what this is. I apologize. But again, I thought this game was offline. So, but there you have it. If you're a Rift fan, you got something to look forward to. If you want to win some in-game currency, I assume. And this isn't necessarily Valentine's Day related, but it looks like RuneScape added a novice quest. Says here the setup is part of the game's weekly update post, which adds a permanent new novice quest to help King Slime find a soulmate, as well as details some adjustments being made to the War's Retreat PVM mode. So it looks like this is a permanent quest, or feature rather, but it just so happens to also be Valentine's Day related at the time. So again, I never played RuneScape. We'll get around to it, but yeah, if this is something that interests you, you got that to look forward to as well. So this next bit of news comes from Gematsu.com, and this is neither an RPG or an MMO, but okay, so I wanted to cover this because it says 90s survivor horror game inspired Heaven Dust launches February 27th for Switch and PC. Now, the reason why I wanted to cover it because it says 90s. Now, there's a lot of stuff in the 90s I don't like, but one of the things I absolutely love is the comic book aesthetic. And let me show you. I am not a comic book expert. I'm still a novice. And but one of the things that I love about the dollar bins when you go to a comic book store is that they're predominantly 90s comics, right? Which is a good or a bad thing, but in my case it's a good thing because it's easier on my wallet. Like, check out this cover right here, right? Look at that. You got Bishop and Cable and Wolverine down there, you know, and they look like they're on steroids. That's like one of the determining factors of a 90s aesthetics is guys just absolutely look shredded and ripped, right? You have Ravage 2099 right here, and it has like this foil, this chromium finish, very gimmicky, very 90s. I absolutely love this cover, right? You got Bad Rock. I mean, just look at this. I mean, I don't know if you could get more 90s than that. Just, you know, again, you got some of the chrome lettering here, right? Oh, and look at this cover. Look how busy this cover is. Like, you're just so exhausted from just even looking at this cover. This is like definitely a 90s cover right here, right? I stand corrected. This cover you probably can't get more 90s than this. I mean, look at that, right? It's just everything about this screams 90s, right? Even that little dude, you know, you got that little sort of anime look to it. I don't know where that came from, but hell, you know, I'll take it, right? And even though these comic books weren't published during the 90s, they were very 90s inspired. I'm talking about the age of Apocalypse, right? And these came out, I believe, last year or 2 years ago. And again, these were in the these were in the 3-for-1 bin at my local collector shop, right? So 3 of these comic books for $1, and you know I had to go to town because you know, you gotta save these comic books from being shredded, I suppose, or something. So yeah, like Wolverine right there. Like, again, he looks like he's on steroids. And my favorite character right there, Cyclops. Again, very 90s with the buff aesthetics and the hair, the long hair. That was definitely a very 90s thing too. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, that took a little detour there, but yeah, there's a lot of things that I like about the past, but just really want to touch upon this game here. 90s survivor horror game inspired Heaven Dust will launch for Switch via Nintendo eShop and PC via Steam on February 27th for $8. And this game is created by an indie developer. I did look at the trailer earlier, and to be honest, it's really not that special. I mean, it's still, you know, your top-down shooter. It's supposed to be horror, but it doesn't really look that scary. In a lot of ways, it looks very cartoony. But as somebody who doesn't really do very well with horror games, with the exception of a lot of Resident Evil games and even The Last of Us, there really isn't a whole lot of horror games that I play just because I can't really deal with those, unfortunately. Not really my thing, but yeah, it's a cool looking game, and I'll definitely do an first impressions of this video soon. So this is pretty interesting. 2K Silicon Valley officially named 31st Union. Now, I believe there is a 2K studio up in Marin County, and I believe that is the studio that's developing the new BioShock game, but I think this is a separate studio. There's no mention of BioShock in this article, so I'm assuming it's probably just a separate studio, but I could be wrong. But anyways, Silicon Valley-based game studio opened by 2K Games in February 2019 is officially named 31st Union, the company announced. Alongside the reveal of its new state-of-the-art development facility, branding, and core values, 31st Union also announced plans to extend a second studio based in Spain, making the fourth 2K Games-owned studio with multiple locations around the world. The studio is currently recruiting worldwide for the continued development of new intellectual property. So, if it's just solely new intellectual properties, then you could probably roll out BioShock. But yeah, I hope some of those new intellectual properties are MMOs or some sort of online RPG, right? I think that'd be really cool, but we'll see. And the thing you will notice that is very inspired by the California state flag. So other industry news, but more pertaining to MMOs, obviously. XL Games. Kakao Games acquires majority share of ArcAge developer, and this comes from MMOculture.com. Korea media and entertainment giant Kakao Games recently announced that it has acquired 53% controlling stake in XL Games, developer of games such as ArcAge and more recently Moonlight Sculptor. Kakao Games will now have a strong game studio with new IPs added to its growing games portfolio. With more resources at its disposal, XL Games aims to concentrate more on development side of things for both PC and mobile platforms. And if you never heard of Kakao Games, they're the ones who developed Black Desert Online. So this next bit of news comes from Lovecraft MMO, The Yellow King, now in early access on Steam. Lovecraft MMO roguelite, The Yellow King has entered early access on Steam. Here are some details. This game is set to include infinite dungeons, traps, puzzles, and monsters for testing. The team is also looking at testing the following: basic network performance, server stability, and etc. etc. So, admittedly, I have never played a roguelike game before, and in my opinion, these seem to be having a lot of popularity these days. More and more MMO roguelites are popping up on Steam, usually by smaller companies. And when there's more titles to cover, I'll definitely keep you guys posted and let you know what the results are. Okay, so you already know what this is gonna be about. It's neither a MMO or an RPG, but it's about Gundam, so you know I have to cover it, right? So Mobile Suit Gundam Senjou no Kizuna 2 announced for the arcade. I probably butchered that, I apologize. But Bandai Namco announced Mobile Suit Gundam Senjou no Kizuna 2 for the arcade at Japan Amusement Expo 2020. The first Mobile Suit Gundam for the arcade in November 2006 and was ported by PlayStation Portable in 2009. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at this trailer, but I can't do a live reaction to it. Bandai Namco and many other Japanese companies are notorious for copyright claiming your videos if you use their release trailer. The only exception to that I found was Blue Protocol, fortunately, when I covered that, which is awesome, but like 90% of my video copyright claims came from Bandai Namco. So I don't want to play it for the fear of having my video claimed, even though I'm not even making any money. I'm not partnered with YouTube. So I'm going to take a look at it and I'll let you know what it's like. So I think I could get away with screenshots. I think the screenshots will be okay, but it looks pretty freaking amazing. I am very excited about this, although I probably will never be able to play it unless they decide to port it over to like Steam or Nintendo or something. I don't know. I mean, they did port it over to the PlayStation Portable, which is better than nothing, right? Not that they would port this one to the PlayStation Portable, but yeah, it's like I have some ideas running through my head. It's just like, if I ever go to Japan, this is definitely one of the things that I have to do, right? I mean, it's one thing to be playing a Gundam on a handheld console or on your computer, but it's another to actually play in like a full pod, as you'll see in the screenshots at the corner. And it looks amazing. Like, I haven't seen anything like this. I am so proud of Bandai Namco doing this. I thought arcades like this were dead. I remember back in the late 2000s, BattleTech had their own pods, and they were at a number of David and Buster's. I don't know if any of you guys remember those. I never got to play those. I was too afraid, but I really regret not being able to experience it when I had the chance. So yeah, this is definitely going to be on my bucket list now. And so yeah. So this week in Star Citizen features Inside Star Citizen and more. Cloud Imperium Games released some new information on what's in store for this week in Star Citizen. Today, hopefully, we will see Narrative Team pushing or publishing The Meltdown, which is a short story set on the new planet Microtech. The first Pillar Talk for 2020 will also debut, focusing on what's to come for the rest of the year. That should be interesting. I'll definitely look into that. I could already tell you right now, looking at the comment section, it's full of, yeah, like, dang it, why isn't the game out yet? But that's a beautiful screenshot right there. That looks absolutely stunning. The game looks absolutely stunning. I'm still really looking forward to this game, and yeah, it's just I wish the game was out, but there's only so much you could do, right? So TERAs Crescent C is live on PC with Ellen Valkyries and new treasure ship dungeon. So this is something I covered last week. And it's finally out. It's patch day for TERA's PC crowd today, as Crescent C officially goes live, bringing the playable Ellen Valkyrie to the game world, along with 5-person dungeon Sea of Honor. Yes, you're on a boat. If you didn't know already, I am somebody who sunk many years into TERA, and I might have to get back into it and just check out what this new expansion is all about. I'm pretty sure you've seen numerous stories like this already, but I'll cover it just briefly here. But we talked about this about a month ago, and EA said that they were not abandoning Anthem, and we finally got some confirmation in a new blog post from Casey Hudson, I believe. Yeah, Casey Hudson has shed light on the future of Anthem. In short, the game is set to receive a complete overhaul. He said, over the last year, the team has worked hard to improve stability, performance, and general quality of life while delivering 3 seasons of new content and features. We have also heard your feedback that Anthem needed more satisfying loot experience, better long-term progression, and a more fulfilling endgame. So we recognize that there's still more fundamental work to be done to bring out the full potential of the experience, and it will require more substantial reinvention than an update or expansion. So good on them. Very rarely do online games or games as a service who has a disastrous launch ever able to redeem themselves. 2 games obviously off the top of my head that is an exception to that is Final Fantasy XIV and No Man's Sky. But if they could pull it off, this could be a huge kudos to BioWare and even EA, and I really hope that they do. Again, as I stated earlier, I'm a huge mecha fan, and even though Anthem isn't really your typical mecha that you think of when you think of like Gundam or Mech Warrior, and even Robotech, it's still a mech suit, and it's like, it still has that mech feeling that I really love. And I really hope for the best, and if they reboot the game and it's to the, what do you call it? Expectation of all the Anthem fans out there, then it's definitely something that'll be worth checking out. Again, neither an MMO or an RPG, but nonetheless a really huge game, and that Apex Legends is getting a mobile version for the Chinese market. And if you don't know what Apex Legends is, it's another battle royale game, very similar to Fortnite, but without the building. And yeah, mobile gaming and breaking into the Chinese gaming market, however lucrative that may or may not be, are still going to be things that game companies will pine for in 2020. And EA is one of the latest to make an attempt to reveal a mobile version of Apex Legends. So yeah, if you want to play Apex Legends, you have the potential to do so on your mobile phone if you'd like. Although I don't know if, I mean, it's possible it could come out for the American market. Like, you could play Fortnite on your phone, so that's a possibility. Maybe they'll do cross play, but I'm not exactly sure if Call of Duty ever came out for the American market. I think that's still just a Chinese thing, and I don't know why, but it is what it is, I suppose. So there you have it. I normally don't cover too many mobile games, especially when they're called MMORPG. To be, I guess, very picky about things, to call certain games on the mobile platform an MMO, I don't think that's correct. You know, in order, like, the first M in MMO is massively, and a lot, if not all, of the MMORPGs on the mobile aren't even massive. At the most, you'll have like a dozen people within your instance, and that's it. And that's hardly massive, but there's still a lot of titles that are, that still have the MMORPG characteristic, or no, label rather, of it. And even though Dragon Raja looks like a really awesome game, the graphics are spectacular, I definitely love the aesthetics, I wouldn't consider this an MMORPG. I know I'm ranting a little bit, and I do apologize, but it's like, call it a online RPG or something, or a mobile online RPG, but to call it an MMORPG, and compare something like this to, say, like World of Warcraft or Black Desert Online or in Star Wars: The Old Republic and Final Fantasy 14, I don't think it's on the same level. So anyway, sorry, that's end of my rant. But just to let you know that there is a mobile MMORPG called Dragon Raja coming out, and it looks absolutely stunning. I don't know anything about this company, Mistrails. I don't know if they're a Korean or Chinese company. I'm assuming that they are, just based on the aesthetics, but I'll definitely check this out and let you guys know more when I do. Stake your claim in New World Settlements as Amazon drops new dev blog. This should be interesting. Even though New World is allegedly right around the corner this spring, Amazon Game Studios has been fairly quiet on the sandbox title since its initial announcement. Hopefully that is changing with the sign of a juicy new dev blog. In this week's post, New World expands its settlement system, basically a way for players to build their own towns, populate the game map. Settlements are where players live, congregate, craft, trade, work on town projects, and support their faction through faction missions. Death is not the end in Atrium, so settlements also serve as a respawn point for players unfortunate enough to have a fatal mishap on their adventures. So this is really cool. I guess I know a lot of MMOs out there implement their own version of towns, and in-player or player housing. Some of them are instance, like for example, the strongholds in Star Wars: The Old Republic, and even though that's pretty cool, it's not. There's still a disconnect from your stronghold and the persistent world, because everything is instanced. Whereas, say you look at Aeon Online, their player housing is right there in the instance world, and you have to bid to get a house, and you're able to decorate it. This, however, could be a game changer in a sense that you actually are in charge of crafting everything. And I'm assuming that it's going to be part of the persistent world, but I don't know how they're going to implement that. I don't know if it's going to be more like, say, Ark. They're pushing this as a sandbox MMO, which I'm very excited about. I'm kind of sick of theme park MMOs, but that's not necessarily that doesn't necessarily mean I would stop playing them, but I'm definitely looking forward to more sandbox like games. So another game I haven't played, I apologize, but Rune 2 has been popping up in news sources all over the place, and I might as well just kind of let you guys know what's going on. In spring of 2020, roadmap for Rune 2 has been revealed on the forums earlier, bringing some much needed improvements. For example, improvements to combat were outlined, specifically touching on redesign and retouching many more core systems. Ages of Ragnarok will also be getting tweaked features, or featuring more visual polish. Balance will also be tuned as well. I'll definitely do more research on this next time. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the news, featured in news websites all over the place as time progresses. So I was really looking forward to this. Bit disappointed, but it's okay. Star Wars: The Old Republic 6.1 delayed. Now this is the one that's supposed to be this one's the one that was called Pinnacles of Power, and it was supposed to progress the storyline from the previous update, which I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But this also was the patch that was supposed to give you the Alderaan the stronghold, and apparently they found at the last minute some bug or problem that was pretty big apparently. So there is no ETA as of yet of 6.1, but I'm pretty sure it'll be fairly soon, hopefully. So maybe next week, maybe 2, I don't know. EVE Online. Here's a game I haven't touched in years, but EVE Online is celebrating 11 years of wormholes with its next update. It appears that EVE Online is keen to celebrate wormholes soon. The game's next update is all on wormholes and wormhole-related content, announcing increased connectivity chances between wormholes, adding roaming connections between high-class wormholes. So, if this is a game that you haven't played and you would like to jump back in it, take precaution, because I'm pretty sure the grind is real. So Mark Jacob was in the news last time, and he was in a lot of trouble because he was developing another game called Final Stand Ragnarok, which was like this survival horde mode type of game. I'm not exactly sure. It looks fun, admittedly, but a lot of people were angry because a lot of people. So Camelot Unchained is a crowdfunded game, but a lot of people felt betrayed because the game was technically supposed to come out last December, and a lot of people refunded because of the delay. And then he comes out with the news like, hey, we have a new game coming out, and we didn't use any of the resources from the original Camelot Unchained money. Matter of fact, this new game could potentially give us more money, but people just weren't buying it. And it says in this article that he first started off the stream with an apology, and he shared pretty much a roadmap of what's to expected in things to come in 2024 Camelot Unchained. And one of the comments says, so another Star Citizen. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if Camelot Unchained is another game suffering from feature creep, but I believe Kenneth told me that the game was actually initially supposed to come out back 2 years ago. So if that's the case, then yeah, probably Camelot Unchained is also suffering from feature creep as well. And that's too bad, because I know he's looking forward to the game, and I know a lot of people are. And he's definitely more forgiving than a lot of people here. So Albion Online now counts 350,000 monthly active players, plans major alliance changes. I should probably give this game a try now. It's not really my cup of tea, but I mean, if it's getting that much attention, like this is something worth checking out then. We just got some fun numbers from Albion Online buried in a forum post. Sandbox Interactive says it's a massive Queen update in January was the most successful to date. Since its release, number of players have grown more than 40%, and for the first time since our free-to-play launch, we have currently surpassed the 350 monthly active players. That's pretty amazing. Like, I mean, it's not, again, aesthetically the game isn't my cup of tea, but I mean, there probably is some redeeming features to this game that might make me fall in love with it. So Lord of the Rings Online's Riders of Rohan arrives on progression servers this week. Again, this is a game I haven't touched in years, so I really don't know what's really going on. I do apologize, but saddle up and ride for the Horse Kingdom. Riders of Rohan is coming to Lord of the Rings Online's progression servers this week. I'm guessing that's their public test server, their PTS. I'm not sure, but it looks like they're getting a pretty large update pretty soon. This has to be probably like the 4th or 5th type of game that I've seen, right? So when something says, when an article has the word mecha in it, I instantly click on it, because I'm such a huge mecha fan, like I said 1,000 times. But they're always a game like this. They have that really awesome anime aesthetic, but it ends up being a waifu collecting game. And it's just like, I mean, aesthetically it looks really awesome, very cute, very sexy. But it's like the mechs themselves look pretty awesome. Here are the weapons, but I don't want to play a waifu collecting mech game anymore. Just give me a mech game. Thanks again for tuning in. If you made it this far with me, I definitely do appreciate it, because the watch time definitely helps with the algorithms for this channel. And if you haven't done so, please consider giving a like and a subscription. Those also help with the algorithms. And I really do mean what I said earlier. You guys who supported my channel and showing me so much love, it just means a lot to me, and this is something that I really look forward to do every time I wake up. And it's really good to feel that sort of just motivation and just being inspired. So cheers to you guys again. Thank you very much. You guys know who you are, and I hope you guys have a blessed night, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers again.